Welcome into the DNVR Rockies Podcast. I am your host, Suzie Hunter. I've got Christian Saez here with me. It's a little Suze and Saez Sunday for you. We are getting all amped up for Rockies on Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah.
First time they've been on national TV all season. That's coming up in, if you're watching us live, less than an hour. So that'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's fun. They're jumping right in. Sunday Night Baseball. The Rockies getting some national attention. It feels like it's unfortunate that it's taken so long to get to this point, but also it makes sense. You know,
it makes sense.
It's just the way that it goes. We as Rockies fans would love to see our team on national television as much as possible, but
yes.
That's not what the rest of the world would want, I would assume.
Apparently not. So, I mean, the Rockies, of course, it's no secret they have been struggling this season. You have to hope that part of the reason why maybe ESPN would even be interested is because the Rockies have so much incredible young talent. But part of it could just be we have Sunday Night Football on too, and everyone else is a little
preoccupied, maybe?
Preoccupied. Yeah. Broncos are on literally right now.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say we interrupt your regularly scheduled Broncos programming to bring you some Rockies highlights in baseball and all that good stuff. But I will say, and I was talking to you a little bit about this before the show started, this is the best time of year for baseball because you've got teams that are, starting to get crossed off the list, eliminated, and so you're starting to see that kind of pile and push to the playoffs get a little bit narrower, and then you're starting to see teams really come down to the wire. You've got some teams at the end that are just exciting to watch because games totally matter, and in a sport that goes such a long time with so many games, it's really fun.
Sorry, I'm playing our own show over you.
I mean, we can do that.
I wanted
We'll have a little
to check
echo.
To see if we had comments, and my computer's not muted. Christian, I apologize. Please restart your thoughts.
Hey, you look, it happens to all of us, and we wanted to bring our views up a little bit more.
It's live, folks.
It
I'm
is
gonna
live.
be one of the views.
Yeah, right. Look, it's just fun baseball time right now. And there are some teams that are really fighting for a spot in the playoffs, a wild card spot. And I know some of that we're going to talk about as the Rockies are going to be playing some of those teams.
Like pretty much all of them. Yeah, it's going to be, we're going to get into that in a little bit for sure. But yeah, this is like, we're starting to see the fruits of everyone's labors here. Who is eliminated early and it didn't work out? Who is in the fight? I mean, I got to say, like, I'm looking at the standings right now here in almost mid-September, and there's a lot of surprises in there for me.
There is a lot of surprises, and I think for me, a lot of surprises about teams that like I expected to be better that haven't been as good.
Yeah.
The Padres are like the first ones that come to mind where you're like, God, how are they as bad as they are with the team that they have? And so it's just like, you start to see teams like that popping up, and then you get teams like the Mariners or even the Giants, a team that we're going to be playing, where you're so, okay, they're not really in it, but they're also not out of it yet. And I didn't expect the Giants to be doing very much this year. The Mariners, they kind of had been picking up some steam last season. They had their first playoff appearance in almost a decade, or 20 years, actually 2 decades, and so they're kind of fighting for that spot in the American League. But it's coming down to the wire. You've only got a couple weeks left of regular season.
It's all coming together, and the Rockies have a chance to be disruptors in all of this. Will popping in. The Padres were eliminated today.
Yeah.
When I was putting together the outline for the show, they were still 1 game away from being eliminated. So I guess it happened. R.I.P. the Padres.
Yep.
I don't feel bad for you.
Send them off. The same thing with like the Yankees, though. You look at these teams that like have on paper good lineups, and just ended up being some of the worst teams in all of baseball this year. And I think that was more of the surprise. It was like, okay, it happens. Sometimes you'll have a good lineup that just injuries plague it and you get bounced in the first round or something like that. Maybe you sneak into a wild card spot. But to be some of the worst teams in baseball, speaking specifically like the Padres and the Yankees, you're like,
Padres.
How does that happen?
Yeah,
but
they're eliminated. This is so freaking hilarious to me.
It's crazy. And I mean, you love to see it.
I'm not trying to dance on anyone's graves, but
kind of.
I don't know. It just goes to show you, like, I mean, the Padres got eliminated like 2 days after the Rockies did.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. Where as things start kind of piling in here in these last couple of weeks of the regular season, you're going to start seeing teams getting close. But then of course you got the teams like the Dodgers who are 12 games up over the Diamondbacks right now that are just like, okay, put them in already. They're done. Yeah. Why are you even playing any more games at this point?
What is even the point? Baseball isn't even real.
No, it's not. Not when you're the Dodgers, at least, and you have
Yes.
that kind of payroll running a team.
Good Lord.
Mhm.
Good Lord. Christian, let's talk about some of these Giants games that we've already seen. We're playing the Giants like in 2 series, like within like about a week and change.
Yeah.
Which is like just it's too much, personally. But
It
I know
is.
you have family who are Giants fans.
Yes, I do. No, and I was mentioning this to you. My mom was actually trying to come up to Colorado for Giants games when they were here. They ended up playing the very beginning of the season here in Colorado when she was still in school, and then at the very end of the season. So the Giants, at least in Colorado, kind of split their series here at Coors Field at the very beginning and at the very end. But it's going to be a stretch where they're playing the Giants in some pretty important games for the Giants.
Important games for the Giants, yep.
For me, if you're a team that's not in it, you might as well be a team that can play some meaningful games, especially against a division rival like the Giants. If you can find a way to knock them out, I know my family won't be happy to hear that coming out of my mouth, but that can be exciting baseball. Yeah, well, and that makes for some fun baseball. I will say that. So games that mean a lot for the Giants, not as much for the Rockies.
Exactly. Yeah, the Giants right now, they're 2 games back in the wild card race, but they're 6 games away from elimination. Their elimination number is 6 as of right now. The recording of this podcast a little after 5 o'clock on Sunday the 10th. Okay, so if it changes in the next like 30 seconds, don't come at me.
Yep.
But yeah, the Rockies have already lost this series out in San Francisco. The loss on Friday night, 9-8. The loss on Saturday, 9-1. For you, when you see these games, which one is more painful? The Rockies being in it and having a good lead and losing it, or the Rockies just getting trampled on?
It has to be the close games. I mean, I get it. A loss is a loss either way, but I even relate this to like the Broncos. Like, I don't know what the Broncos score is right now, but from everything I've seen up to this point with the Broncos game, it was kind of an ugly game that they were winning at for the most part. And I'm like, you know what? If they win, even if it's ugly, I don't care as long as they win. That's kind of how I feel about, the Rockies. I'm like, okay, it might not be pretty, but if they win, you're still feeling great about that. And so I just feel like a 9-1 loss, whatever you're expecting it, 9-8 loss, those ones hurt.
That one hurt for me too, especially because we saw some great performances from, especially the young guys. Hunter Goodman had a bases clearing triple at the early in that game. Bouchard had an RBI single. Brendan Rodgers had a really great catch in the second inning. Thankfully, his arm stayed on. I always get worried whenever I see him making these catches. Because of his shoulder situation, he's doing fine. He is doing just fine.
You tense up a little bit, you hold your breath, but that's the game you play. So
that's baseball.
That's baseball, right? You want him to make those catches, and that's all you can hope for at this point. I mean, there's nothing. These games don't mean anything for the Rockies. All it is you think of this as the preseason. These guys are. This is almost you're getting into fall training. In my opinion, when you get
training, I like this term. Please elaborate.
Yeah, well, when you get eliminated, you're not playing for anything else. So at this point, you're looking ahead to next season. What guys are going to start stepping up? What guys are going to be sticking around and being able to just kind of continue to get some reps in and start preparing for next year. Because at this point, that's all you can expect to do. So if you're Bud Black, your entire mindset has now shifted into how can I set myself up in the future for next season, even though we're in the season we're in right now. And the good thing is they're playing some meaningful games against teams that still have a season on the line. And so that means you're going to be facing hopefully some teams that are throwing the kitchen sink at you.
Yeah, like these are going to be games where teams are all in. And we've seen that with the Giants too. They're not going down without a fight right now.
No, this isn't meaningless games for everyone. This is, meaningless games maybe for the Rockies, but the Giants their season is on the line right now, and they are playing in a position where you can't lose ball games right now. So the Rockies get to see the best towards this latter half of the season, and you just got to get ready for next year. It starts now. I know it sucks, but it starts now.
It starts now. It did start last night. The Victor Vodnik era. We saw his MLB debut last night. He was in AAA like a couple days ago when I was in AAA.
Yeah. How was your trip, by the way? You were hanging out with the Isotopes in New Mexico. Yeah.
Some really nice young men down there.
Nice.
That's good. They're good kids. I'm really hopeful for the future after spending so much time with them. I didn't get a chance to talk to Victor Vodnik like I had requested an interview. And like, I mean, I also requested a lot of interviews, so this just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. I could have talked to him right before his debut.
Yeah,
Kept
I know.
our good
I know.
streak
Right.
going
Right.
of like guys getting called up after we have them on the show. But regardless, he made that debut. And we watched it, actually. We had a watch party here last night.
Nice, yep.
For the Rockies. A bunch of the Purple Row people were here. Some Saber people were here. My friends were here.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
You love it.
Like a whole thing. So we all got to watch Victor Vodnik's debut.
That's awesome. No, and that's fun. And that's what you look for at this point right now for the Rockies.
Yeah.
You know, you start to look into their farm system and see what's coming up here, not even just next year, but in the coming years. And even if you don't see some of these guys playing on the field for the Rockies, these are pieces of value that the Rockies have that they can work with. So whether you end up seeing a guy that ends up spending 7 years with your program, or is someone who brings in talent from somewhere else, that's what you're looking to see now. And so I like that you made the trip out to New Mexico. And is that where Sushan calls games? Did you get to hang out with Sushan a little bit?
Oh, Josh Sushan is a very good friend of mine. He's not just a friend of the pod, like he's like a friend of mine.
I figured that. Yes, I know. And I feel like every time I'm on the show with you, Sushan's involved one way or another. So, you know, we just kind of had to see if we had a shout out for him. But that's cool. That's really cool that you were able to just get out and experience some of the up and coming for the Rockies.
You know what? Yeah, it was such a good time. Again, I'm stoked for the future. How did Victor Vodnik do? Oh, you know what? He gave up some runs. Oh, he gave up tacos. So,
so not.
So,
but that's what the minor leagues are for.
That's what. Well, this is the majors.
True.
Are you calling the Rockies the minors?
No, I mean, I guess I was still thinking of New Mexico, but yes, you're looking at Wagner's.
I'm looking,
stats.
I'm looking at Vodnik's stats from last night, because obviously we had a lot going on.
Yeah. So yes, reverse tacos. That's not a good, not great.
Not good. Was not a good time. You know what is always a good time? Bet365.
That is a good time.
Yes, official betting partner of the Colorado Rockies. Listen, it's still baseball season, but also, you know, officially football season. That's what so many people care about. But at Bet365, get this. They don't do ordinary. They believe every sport should be epic. So see for yourself when you sign up today, and you'll get $365 in bonus bets when you bet just $1. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Good chunk of money.
Yeah. That's some wiggle room.
That's some wiggle room right there. But DNVR also, so I saw this on the app the other day. I was so excited. DNVR has custom bets.
Really?
Custom DNVR bets, like our best logo is on it in the app.
Oh, that's super cool.
It is so freaking cool. So yeah, I'm so glad that we're working with Bet365. But they have their own custom bet. Will the Broncos claim 3 divisional wins this season? We think so.
Oh, we totally think so. And the division,
we believe so.
The division is open right now with the Chiefs' week 1 loss. So you never know. 3 division wins. That's not bad for the Broncos.
Not too shabby. But yeah, you can ride with DNVR, place your bet. You're going to find that in the app. But download the app, deposit $10. That's how you claim the $360 in bonus bets as soon as you place a bet for $1. So you deposit $10, make a bet for $1, then you get your $365 in bonus bets. Download the Bet365 app. Use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary when you bet with Bet365. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, text or call 1-800-GAMBLER. We also got to talk about Fubo TV. Best way to catch the Broncos, best way to catch the most Denver sports, the most Colorado sports for the lowest cost. You simply can't beat it. Always a good time. But 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, news, all of it.
And look, this is the best time I could ever expect to be watching Colorado sports right now. I mean, talk about the amount of teams in Colorado that are just crushing it right now. It's a good time to be a Colorado sports fan.
Definitely. And I know some other providers are having issues with channels that carry sports. Lots of other providers are having issues, but you're going to find college football, Pac-12, obviously obviously, see you. Obviously. You're going to catch the Broncos, NFL Network. They got Red Zone, US Open, the Ryder Cup, just everything, all the sports you want to catch. You can catch them with Fubo. Watch all of your favorite college football and NFL games with Fubo. Go to www.FuboTV.com/DNVR to sign up for you're going to get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Woo!
Nice.
Good deal. It's a good deal. All right, let's talk about one of the interesting things. I know we saw one of the Rogers twins pitching for the San Francisco Giants. We're fascinated by them, of course. I mean, not just because they're twins and they have actually opposite throws.
Literally opposite.
It's so creepy.
It could not be different. It could not be more different.
But they're Colorado kids too. I'm surprised that the Rockies haven't tried to reel them in because they love to hoard Colorado pitchers.
Yes, yeah. Do a little Saving Private Ryan action, get all the family together, that kind of thing. Yeah, something like that.
I've actually never seen Saving Private Ryan, so
that might not have been the greatest reference because technically the brothers died except for one.
Okay,
but they were trying to keep the family together. So that was where I was going with that. But maybe it's good that you haven't seen that. So.
Yeah, no.
A swing and a miss on that reference.
Maybe Fast and the Furious, family.
Family. There you go. Right. I was just thinking brothers coming together. The whole movie's about family. You
said it before. Someone just give us a thumbs down.
Yeah. That's
That's actually so messed up.
That's fair. That's fair. But yes, it would be cool to see them together. I always thought about this. You're talking about, the different windups and the different, kind of pitch deliveries between brothers. I had a sister, so I didn't grow up with a brother who played baseball in the same sport as me. I was a pitcher, though. But I will say a lot of my delivery was emulated off of my dad's pitching style. And he wasn't a pitcher, but he did, I think anytime you play baseball, you can pitch. Exactly.
You're
so you are physically able to pitch. But I just took a lot from my dad in the way that I was doing my windup and whatnot. And so I think that's fascinating to have two, guys who grew up together with totally different pitching styles.
Okay, we actually have the pitching ninja video of the two of them pitching overlaid on top of each other. It is so interesting because they're literally like yin and yang. Oh, Tiff's getting it up. But I have to wonder, I'm like, were they positioned in the womb in a way?
That's right? That is
got him.
As far from opposite.
There we go.
Got him.
Yeah, good on Pitching Ninja. Shout out to him for creating this.
Got him.
Yeah, just perfect opposites. Crazy that
Got
they're
him.
on the same team. I love the moments when they're warming up in the bullpen at the same time.
Got
One's
him.
a lefty, one's a righty.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's Tyler or which one's Taylor. First of all, messed up of their parents to
True.
name them Tyler and Taylor and they're identical twins. That's cruel, I think, but it's fine. I'm sure that they meant well. The other thing, though, where was I even going with this? I don't know. Forget
Their
it.
pitching styles.
Their pitching styles. Where was
it's
I
completely
going?
opposite.
Oh wait, I don't know which one is which. I just refer to them as the righty and the
lefty.
lefty.
The lefty, yes, the submarine or the three quarters. It's just an impressive. I also think submarine is such a hard thing to learn on your own, anyways. Maybe it was one of those situations where you're right. I don't actually know which one throws submarine. Is it Taylor or Tyler that throws submarine? See, anyway, Tyler. There you go. I can see it on the right graphic, top right.
Okay.
So Tyler, maybe he just wanted to be different, he was like, okay, I just need to be as far opposite from my brother as I possibly can.
Oh my gosh, maybe his line of thought was oh my gosh, no one can tell us apart. This is how people are going to.
Tyler is the submarine guy. Taylor is the three quarters delivery. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll stick with it. It is cool that they get to play on the same team for the Giants.
Yeah.
I just, it would be cooler if they played for the Rockies.
It would be. Do you think this is the question? Thank you for teeing me up for the next question I had. Do you think we see either of them ever pitch for the Colorado Rockies at some point in their career?
I don't think so. I mean, there's obviously a possibility. I
think definitely one of them.
One of them, you do?
I think definitely one of them will end up with the Rockies at some point.
At some point, who do you think it would be then?
I can't tell them apart. I think the lefty ends up.
So Tyler, we'll go with that.
They really had an opportunity to just pretend to be one dude.
Yes.
And like be the ambidextrous pitcher.
But also, like, it would have made more sense to me if you had done that overlay and they had both been like identical pitching deliveries, you know, because that's what I mean. When you grow up together and you're pitching at the same time, like you tend to just kind of work on the same things. I don't know. It just seems like something where you would watch that and say, oh my gosh, look at this overlay. They're the same person throwing, but instead they're completely opposite. But that also, I just feel like that's weird being on the same team as your brother. Like I said, I had a sister, so it's different. But if I had played a sport on the same team as my sister, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Why?
Maybe competitive. Maybe there would have been a competitive edge.
Do you think you'd be more competitive, or do you think that you would just be like, oh, this is fun that we get to do this?
Yeah, like it depends on the relationship. I feel like I would have been more competitive. I would have been like, oh, I can't be like losing a starting spot to my brother. But you know, I'm sure it's fun too. I think for the parents, that's about as good as it gets.
Yes, exactly. I think it's better now that they're on the same team.
Yeah.
Because now the parents, like,
that's a dream.
Like,
that's a dream as parents.
We don't have to worry about them facing each other because I think
you don't have to stitch a jersey together. You know, you see those parents who have like the stitched jersey. One side is you know the Dodgers, the other side's the Giants because their kids pitch on those two teams or whatever. Yeah.
Well, like in the postseason last year when the Phillies and the Padres were playing, and the Nola parents, Aaron and Austin's parents. They were just stressed out. Yeah. When Aaron Nola was on the mound and Austin Nola was back there catching for the Padres, they were just like, "This is actually just stressful."
Yeah, I remember even in high school, like my mom, I didn't play, like I said, with any of my siblings, but we had a really good family friend that played on our rival high school baseball team from me, and so we'd play each other, and my mom would say like it's conflicting because she's like, on one hand, you know, Josh would do really well on Kent Lake. And so she's like, I'd want to cheer for him. But at the same time, like, I can't cheer for Kent Lake. You know, like that's, you know, those are the rivals. Like we can't cheer for them. And so, yeah, I think it's much easier. You get them on the same team. No problems for the parents. They're living a dream life with both their kids playing on the same team.
You know, they're successful. That's all you can hope
that is all you can hope for.
Find success in their chosen field, especially something as competitive as being a professional athlete. Will in the comments, is this true? They pretended to be each other in a spring training game once, like Jose and Ozzie Canseco did that one time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that.
That's actually really funny. I hope that's true.
I could totally see that.
We can't take all of our comments as if they're news. That like.
Can we though? I mean, you know, I'm going to go with it. Will, we're going to say that is 100% true. I'll look for it because that's.
Well, I'm going to fact check you, but after the show, we'll circle back. By the way, the other thing I wanted to bring up, okay, Rockies are going to be on national TV, so it's going to be a totally different broadcast crew than what we're used to. Yes. We're going to get all different kinds of perspectives. We're also going to get like a lot of the typical like, oh, the Rockies, this and that, and the pitching and the hitting, blah, blah, blah. Do we develop a drinking game? I meant to pose this question at the start of the show because if anyone has suggestions for the Sunday Night Baseball Rockies drinking game,
how many times do we hear a talking point about the elevation?
I think like once an inning,
at least.
I think once an inning. I will be keeping count
of how many times the national broadcast brings up because I will say, as a play-by-play guy, like. Doing games with teams that you are not familiar with, that you haven't watched a lot of film on, and you just have to kind of jam a whole year's worth of games into, you know, a week of prep. It's you find those talking points and you die on them. You die on those hills. So, you know, it's like you run baseball, especially you run out of things to talk about in the fourth inning if the game isn't that exciting, and you're just like, so the elevation is a big thing for the Rockies. They play at high elevation, you know, and then you just beat it until it's dead.
You know what? So I got the chance to talk to Buster Olney on Friday.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
Oh my gosh, the time of my life. He is just such a great baseball dude. Such a great dude in general. But one of the questions I asked him, you can find this on our previous show, but I asked him, like, okay, so like pitchers have so much trouble keeping their ERAs low. Batters never get recognition when they're doing well because they chalk it up to the altitude. Are the Colorado Rockies ever going to crack the code here at elevation? And he was like, no.
No.
No. He's like, and it kind of sucks because, you know, the Dodgers have certain advantages where they play in terms of like it's easier to pitch there.
Yeah.
But pitcher awards don't get, you know, discredited because it's the Dodgers.
Well, and here's the thing. You can use the altitude and the elevation to go both ways. You can say, like you said, well, okay, the Rockies hitters are just crushing it this year. Well, of course they are. They're playing at Coors Field. How you're expected to do that. But on the flip side, you can say, oh, well, the Rockies are losing because they play at elevation, and other teams have better offenses that are, able to hit home runs. And so it's just like, it's this constant talking point that I just think at the national level especially gets beaten into the ground so much. And I just think, yes, I get statistically it plays a factor, but it doesn't. To me, it's not making decisions on games. You're not getting a win or a loss based off of the fact that we play at mile high elevation. Like it maybe is you're playing the Moneyball game across 162 games where, okay, you get 5 or 6 more home runs a season, that kind of thing. But it's not determining games. And I think the national broadcast usually will talk about it as if this is like determining baseball games for the Rockies.
Yeah.
So, but I'm excited to see them in a national light because, like I said, you get a perspective of someone who most likely has not watched a single Rockies game in their whole year.
Exactly. Most of the people who will watch this game tonight haven't watched the Rockies all season.
And even I'm even also talking about from the broadcasting perspective. You get guys, obviously, when you're broadcasting a national game, you're paying attention to the overall outlook of Major League Baseball, but the broadcasters are not sitting down and watching Rockies games up until now.
Yeah.
And
like
so
they watched, I'm sure, a ton this week. They have a great production team.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
They have great people prepping them for, they've got the whole week. Yeah, they definitely
but again, you
crash course on the Rockies.
Yeah,
this
you
week.
cram a whole season into 1 week of prep
Yes.
for Sunday Night Baseball. And so my point is, you get an extra perspective of someone who is an outsider coming in and watching a team and getting their take on how is this team going to grow? What do they see? Because we're kind of numb to everything that we're seeing right now.
Do you think we're numb? Do you think we're just desensitized?
Desensitized, yeah, exactly.
From all the drama this season?
All the drama, and you watch the games, and you see, so you especially, you're at every single game, or if you're not at them, you're watching them.
Yes.
You're following every game, and so it's harder to see some of the changes that are taking place over the big course of a year.
Yeah.
And so when you get guys coming in that have not watched the team all year long, you get fresh perspective. And I just think that's an interesting part of it. So I'm excited to hear the national broadcast and just to hear what the take is on the Rockies from someone who has only watched the Rockies for a week, And so I think that'll be interesting.
I can't wait to find out. I'm going to be down.
Good or bad.
At 6:10 Mountain Time, I will be down at the bar making sure they've got audio on for Sunday Night Baseball. Be like, all right, guys, let's get it going.
Play the damn theme music.
We have some people. I mean, obviously, we are, Colorado sports first here at the bar. But when our watch party started last night, there were some people who were like, well, I was watching this Texas game on the big screen.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm so sorry, though. Yep. I'm happy you're here.
Yeah.
But, you can watch it on the other screen that's right there. We got to put the Rockies on.
Right next to it. No, I get it.
Controversial take, but I'm like, nope, we're the Colorado bar. Let's go.
Yeah, no, and hey, like I said, it's still baseball season. I know it doesn't mean anything for the Rockies, but there are games that matter still. And that, if you're a baseball fan, that's what matters right now.
Yes.
Okay. The Rockies might not be it, but I'm still excited to see how the playoffs get set up. I'm still pumped to see which teams sneak into a wild card spot. And I'm going to watch the games because of that.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to get into exactly who the Rockies are facing the rest of the season and where those teams stand in their respective playoff hunts. But first, we got to talk about Backus and Schenker. Because when you get hurt, Backus and Schenker is here to help. They win for Colorado families. They've been helping those seriously injured in Colorado for more than 25 years. The absolute best part is that you can call them up and consult them on your case, and it's totally free until they actually win you money in that case. And they've done it to the tune of more than $1 billion here in Colorado. They've got neighborhood offices all over, too, if you want to talk to someone in person. But if you want to call them up on the phone, dial the easiest number in Colorado to remember, 222-2222, all two lows. Call them, find out if you have a case, because they can help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. So call Backus and Schenker for free, because Backus and Schenker wins.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Have you seen the Foco overalls?
I think Kale was wearing them. Is that the overall was that Kale was slumbering in earlier during the Broncos game?
Taking a nap. We're totally outing crucifying him for taking a nap.
We are.
He's had
He
a
was.
really long week. Like, please, like the man has been producing like so many shows.
It is a big week of Colorado sports.
He's wearing the FOCO overalls right now. I hope they appreciate this ad read. But yeah, the FOCO overalls are kind of taking over the world. The entire Phillies team has them.
Yeah, they're Marissa calls them her chetas. It's
Does she have a pair?
She's not of Focos, but she has a
Okay.
pair of overalls. I know that it has been added to her list because she loves wearing overalls.
I wish the Rockies had overalls. I might get the Broncos ones.
The Rockies,
They're
that
such a
would be
vibe.
cool. Some wearing some purple overalls.
Ugh, I would love it. But yeah, FOCO's the leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merch with a product line that has apparel, accessories, collectibles, the bobbleheads, but most importantly, those overalls. They've got them for a bunch of teams. Pretty much, they've got them for every market, I think. They've got them for college. They've got them for NFL. They've got them. I'm just like so wowed by these overalls. That was like such a great business move on their part. Obviously, they've donated lots of great set decorations for us too.
All the good stuff.
Oh boy, I can't wait for y'all to see the overalls if you haven't seen them already.
I was going to ask, and maybe I should ask the FOCO
here they go.
spokesperson.
Tiff pulled them
Oh,
up.
nice. There you go. Does FOCO do dog like clothing, like bandanas and stuff like that for teams?
Oh my gosh. I actually
So I'm in.
They do. They
They
have
do.
pet apparel
They have
and
pet
accessories.
apparel. Okay. So I'm in the market for a Rockies dog bandana before the 14th of September. So it's coming up.
Oh, for Bark in the
For
Park.
Bark in the Park. I will be attending the San Francisco Giants Rockies game at Coors Field with the big puppy.
Oh my gosh,
Mr. Dune.
They have some really cute, like ugly sweater style.
With Cocker Spaniels as
Oh,
that's
looks
like,
like
like
Zia.
looks like little Zia.
oh my gosh, you should definitely get her one of these.
I should get her one from FOCO. That's cool. But yeah, so I'm in the market for a nice little baseball themed bandana for the pup.
Christian, here's what you're gonna do. Listen very closely. You are gonna go to foco.com. You are going to use code DNVR. You're getting 10% off of that order.
I think Dune would be getting 10% off of that order. So yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
like a win.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so do that. Do that.
I will do that tonight so I can get him in time for the game.
Only from FOCO. All right, let's talk about the Rockies' rocky schedule. Almost all of the teams the Rockies are facing for the rest of the season are fighting for a playoff spot, except the Padres.
Which is so funny. That's so ironic to me, but
So funny.
we will live with that.
We had the highest expectations. The Giants, they are still kind of fighting tooth and nail out here.
Yeah.
I'm sure the past two games against the Rockies have helped them out a lot. They can't get that number one spot, but they're still in it.
Yeah. I mean, the Braves
still in it.
are a solid team
Yes.
right now. And so the Giants are trying to sneak in. I will say this is what the Giants do in the history, at least the recent history of San Francisco Giants baseball.
With Gabe Kapler's Giants.
Especially Gabe Kapler's Giants. Although the year, what was it, 2 years ago, where they set the record for most franchise wins under Gabe Kapler's reign, and they still didn't win the division because of the Dodgers having the best season of ever in baseball. And it was one of those things where it was like you had like one of the best seasons ever as a franchise for the best season as a franchise for the Giants, and you still didn't win the division. That just tells you how hard that NL West is.
Yeah, no, those Dodgers are no freaking joke.
12 games up over the Diamondbacks this year, obviously a couple years later, but they haven't really slowed down since then either.
They have not. I mean, yeah, the Giants definitely caught a little lightning in a bottle during that season.
I didn't expect that at all. I mean, it was unreal. Yeah. And now the fact that they're even in the playoff run is, I think, a win for them. I didn't expect them to be in the playoff run this year. So, the Rockies, they've got the Giants and then the Cubs, are also...
The Cubs are in town next. We kind of face a lot of the Cubs and Giants the next couple of weeks. But yeah, the Cubs are still in that wild card spot if the season ended right now. They're 4 games back from Milwaukee in the NL Central, but they're 1 game up in that second wild card spot.
Yeah.
So they're still in it just barely. They've got a battle. Got a battle.
Yeah, and I've been keeping up on our one of our sister stations, CHGO, with their coverage of the Cubs, and so I definitely think they've got a lot of exciting things going on in Chicago. But they've got a tiny margin for error, only one game up in the wild card spot.
Just one game. Speaking of other markets for our company, ALLCITY.
Yes.
We got the Dodgers coming up too at the very end of the season, and they are currently, you mentioned, 12 games up over that second place Arizona team. Arizona barely still in it. And then we finished the season against the Twins, who are leading the AL Central by 7.5 games.
Yeah. And that's just a weird division too. I mean, you've got the Guardians in there that are kind of, they were in it.
They
were in it for a while.
They're slipping now. They are less in it than they were a week ago.
Yeah. And so that's a really interesting one. I don't really know how I feel about the Twins, to be honest. I feel like some of their success has been the fact that they play in a kind of confusing division.
It's a very confusing division, and for the most part, it wasn't very competitive.
No, that's what I mean.
Like, the Twins were leading the division under 500. Now they're above 500, but they were leading the division for a while.
Sure, and my thing is like, go play the Dodgers and see how you do. Like that's kind of my take on that. Is when you're looking at teams that are winning in divisions that are just kind of a mess. The postseason is the tell all for that.
Truly. Let's get into some postseason scenarios. We've heard, as of today, the Braves have clinched.
Yep.
They have clinched a playoff berth. They're the first team in Major League Baseball this season to get that spot in the postseason. And it's also guaranteed that they will not have the 6th seed.
Yeah.
No matter what happens for the rest of their season. How many wins are they at right now? It's just like ridiculous.
It is. The Braves have been such a fun team. The Braves and the Orioles, those are like two of my favorite teams to watch this season. Just fun baseball.
The Braves have 93 wins.
Yeah.
And also, the Orioles are not that different than the Braves.
That's what I mean.
They've got 90 wins. I looked at that last night. I was like, the Baltimore Orioles already have 90 wins. Meanwhile, we hit 90 losses yesterday.
I saw that. I saw that. Hey, it's not 100 losses, so hanging on. We're hanging on.
There's no way the Rockies don't hit 100 losses. They are currently on pace for 103.
Yeah.
Which is so, part of it's upsetting. Part of it, we said this a bunch. You hope it's going to be a wake-up call for ownership, for the front office. They kind of can't, skate by on the fact that a lot of people come to Coors Field because it's a great park.
There is this idea of embrace the failure when you're at this point. I wouldn't consider it tanking. It's a different situation in baseball.
You can't really tank anymore like you used to.
That's what I mean. It's very different. And so it's more of embracing the failure, saying, okay, we sucked this year. Hopefully this is a wake-up call, like you said, to management and to the players as well, who are fighting for their careers. Colorado is not a place you want to play right now. And so you're wanting to pick up value from other guys in different teams and from your minor league system. And so you want to get back to a place where you can prioritize winning. And unfortunately for the Rockies, it starts with having a really hard season. And this is that season. You're hoping this kind of just is a wake-up call for a lot of guys.
Let's hope. It's always a win, though. Getting lunch or dinner or any meal from our friends at Illegal Pete's.
Oh, that sounds so good.
I actually have a leftover reverse nacho sitting in the fridge downstairs waiting for me.
I still haven't tried those reverse nachos, but I literally thought about going to Illegal Pete's on the way home, so that might be the move tonight.
I think in theory, it actually is just a bowl.
Yeah.
That you get with chips.
But I have not used the words reverse nachos when ordering at Illegal Pete's yet, so that might be the game.
If you use the word reverse nachos, they put the cheese in first.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, so I did this once, and this is how they told me it was cheaper to just do reverse nachos. I got a bowl, and I was like, can I get a cup of chili or something on the side? And they were like, oh, it's so much cheaper if you just do the reverse nachos and get the queso or green chili on the side.
Oh, okay.
So yes, it's a bowl. You get your chips. You get everything on the side.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
See, and this is going to be a totally controversial take. I might be canceled for this.
Boy.
I am not someone who likes smothered nachos. I don't like I don't like when the chips get super soggy.
Oh, no. Yeah, you have to eat nachos pretty fast because chips get soggy.
That's what I mean.
That's the worst thing that can ever happen to a person in their lifetime.
But some people love that. Some people love like the messier the better.
No, those people are disgusting swamp people.
And,
that's awful.
And I'm just like, no, I kind of want to just be able to dip my stuff into something on the side. I know it's a very proper way of eating chips where I'm like, okay, put the queso on the side, put the green chili over here, put the all of that. But it sounds good.
It's so good. And listen, they are friends at Illegal Pete's, offering handmade mission-style burritos, bowls, tacos, crafted with responsibly sourced, high-quality ingredients. So much better than some of the other similar chains that are out there. Illegal Pete's is just better. And they got a full bar.
Yeah.
Full bar. When I picked up my food there yesterday, the patio on the Colfax location was popping.
Yeah.
Because it was hot out too. They had the misters going. Like, so many people were just there.
And vibing. We have my cornhole league out at Illegal Pete's, and you know.
Gosh, that's right.
I know. We came in second place. We finished in second. I know. Thank you. It was a big playoff run for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge. Yeah, they also have a happy hour 3 to 8 every single day, all 12 locations. Illegal Pete's, the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers for 28 years.
Love it. I love it.
All right, we are going to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about the games that are coming up. The game that's coming up. Lambo's on the mound tonight for Sunday Night Baseball. He's a guy with an interesting story, too. No Brenton Doyle in the lineup. I'm a little bummed that the national audience won't get to enjoy the Brenton Doyle experience. But then again, now that Sean Bouchard is back, I mean, Sean Bouchard's got the better batting average. Brenton Doyle's still working on trying to get those hits. Yeah,
get some consistency. That's been the struggle so far this season is consistency. So.
It's so tough to watch too because once he gets on base, he's gonna steal all the bases.
Yeah.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
But he's got some stuff to work on, and the Rockies are still trying to win games. So we've got Charlie Blackmon in right field, Sean Bouchard in left field, Nolan Jones, the star of the show, taking center field for the second game in a row. And he will be mic'd up on Sunday Night Baseball, which I think is so exciting. I think the national audience will love Nolan Jones.
And look, I think this is fun because it gives the Rockies some exposure, albeit in a small way, because like you said, it's Sunday Night Football tonight, and and it's the Rockies. How many people from a national audience are going to be interested in this game tonight? But the people that do tune in, it's going to give them some exposure to the personalities of some of the guys on the Rockies that they have not been exposed to before. And hopefully some guys that are going to stick around for a few years and be a part of what we're hoping is going to be a, turn of events for the Rockies in the coming years.
Yes.
So I'm hoping this is just a start for them, maybe introduce them to the baseball world.
Exactly. One of those guys, Hunter Goodman at DH today. He is brand spanking new to the team. He's been on a tear. I'm excited for him to get some of that exposure. Montero will be at first. Trejo's getting the start at second today. No Rogers in the lineup. But yeah, that is what the viewers of Sunday Night Baseball will get to view in just a couple of minutes. If you're watching us live, it's like 10 minutes out from this game.
It's so weird. It's just such a weird thing. So I'm excited to watch it tonight. I also think these national games, they're so much fun for the players too, because there is that extra exposure. You can tell your friends who live in Connecticut that, hey, turn on Sunday Night Baseball. I'll be on tonight. Normally you wouldn't be able to watch games if you've got family and friends living out of state, or you'd have to maybe just listen to the radio or stream it or whatever. But so for a lot of the players, it's fun because it gets them some exposure in just a different way. And I think that's a lot of fun and just an exciting moment for these guys.
So exciting.
In a tough season.
So excited. I hope they have a good time with this. Yeah, during this very difficult season that we're all kind of trudging through. We shall see. Make sure you do check out, though, the interview with Buster Olney was so much fun. Tiff, do you have time to put that on YouTube after this? All right. You know what? It's going to be on YouTube by the time you probably get around to looking for it. So great interview with him. He had some great insight in terms of what national media think of the Colorado Rockies.
Okay.
We have, what else do we have going on? Of course, the bar is popping for all the football games. Speaking of the bar, though, have to give a producer cred to Chandler, who runs the bar downstairs. We were watching the game, me, him, and K-Max. We were watching the Friday night game, and he's the one who sent me that Taylor and Tyler Rogers graphic. He was like, look at this. This is so crazy. He's such a numbers guy, such a stats nerd. So yeah, shout out to him for giving me some great inspiration for today's show. Baseball
fans are just the funniest too. They're it feels like sometimes every once in a while I'll just be talking to someone or meeting someone new, and they would just randomly start like dishing out all these fun stats or old trivia about teams, and you're just like, huh? Baseball, yeah. Like I know it feels like to some people, football is the exciting sport, and football and basketball and hockey here in Colorado, but there are so many people that just grew up watching the sport of baseball and involved in the sport of baseball. And I think it surprises people every year when you look at how much money Major League Baseball brings in, the attendance at Coors Field, the amount of people that just enjoy going, even casually, and being involved in the sport of baseball is so cool to see that it's still such a popular sport, despite some of the other sports picking up traction too. Baseball's right in there.
Baseball's right in there. All right, who's going to win more games today, the Rockies or the Broncos? Because the Broncos did not pull it off today,
They did not pull it off.
It was a 17-16 loss to the Raiders.
Oh, my God. It just feels like...
Oh, boy.
Does it feel like vomit out of my mouth saying that it's just like, here we go again, right?
Here we go. So, that's why the Raiders fans are like... Yeah. That's why they were chirping in the comments. Guys, we don't care about you. We're a baseball show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not offended. I didn't grow up a Raiders fan or Broncos fan like that. So,
but you wore your Broncos hat today.
I did. I'm a transplant fan. I enjoy the Broncos. I didn't really have much of a team growing up because I jumped back and forth between Seattle and San Francisco, and so the Broncos have become my adopted team. But it's been rough.
You live here now.
I do.
And, like, you guys are here.
Yeah, we're here. We're going to raise our kids here, starting with the dogs.
You got to work on the dogs first.
Yes. They are our children at the moment. And Bark in the Park's coming up, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And even if you're not going to the game for Bark in the Park on the 14th, come out to the last few games of the season, because baseball season, it's going to be gone before you know it.
You have to cherish it while we have it, okay?
Yeah, and the weather's already getting colder. It's pouring down rain outside right now. So enjoy what's left of this Colorado summer as it lasts.
Well said, Christian.
Thank you.
Well said.
For the people in the back.
Round of applause from everyone in the room in here.
I appreciate it.
All right, Patrick will be back tomorrow to break down how the Sunday Night Baseball game goes. He's going to preview the Cubs series. We never really figured out a drinking game, but tweet along with us at DNVR_Rockies. We will keep you updated on what this matchup on national TV is looking like. You can follow me at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms. Christian, where can we follow you?
Find me on Twitter at CJJ Saez.
Yes, I had to ask you before I tagged you in
That's
something
okay.
earlier because I don't retain anything.
That's all good.
Tiff for short. Where can we follow you?
Oh, I'm at Tiff TIFF_Tano TANO on Twitter.
Yes.
Lovely.
Or X or whatever we're calling it.
Do
Twitter.
not call it that. Like, I keep forgetting that it's actually called that.
Get that crap out of here.
Also,
come on.
I've got TweetDeck open. It's still called tweetdeck.twitter.com. It's still Twitter.
I saw something saying that you had to pay for TweetDeck. Do you have to pay for TweetDeck?
You have to pay for the blue check mark to have access to TweetDeck.
See, I love TweetDeck, and I don't pay for the blue check mark, but I used to love TweetDeck when I was working as a reporter, and I'm bummed because I'm like, you know what? Like, it's very organized.
Well, old TweetDeck is gone. Old TweetDeck is the better one. This new TweetDeck kind of sucks, but it's better than not having it.
Yeah.
And I caved, and I was like, okay, I'll get the blue check. But then you get like the way, like, I know, like Adam mentioned, he was like, well, I break even every month because you get ad share.
Oh, okay.
So like it's like I'm kind of paying for it, but I'm kind of not.
Gotcha.
If you get a certain amount of engagement, like you get money.
Interesting.
And it is interesting. So that's why I decided to pull the trigger. But it's been very difficult. Thank you for asking. Wow. It really is impossible to wrap up a show. I'm like so bad at
Hey, look, we're
up
getting
a
ready
show.
for Sunday Night Baseball, guys. That's what we're excited for. Let's roll right into it.
We are gonna roll right into it. But Christian, you know what we say about how it's impossible to wrap up a show?
At this point, I have no idea.
It's impossible to wrap up a show, but come back here to the DNVR Sports YouTube channel at 1 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow. Patrick will be back. He's gonna tell you how this game went. He's going to break it down. He's going to preview the Cubs. Talk to you guys later.